Hey guys, welcome to our nightly mobility flow. I haven't posted videos in a couple of days due to my AC being out, rehabbing a back injury, and just overall being soft as baby shit. But I'm starting to get hard again mentally, trying to make sure I stay consistent with this because consistency is key. Tight knees. So we're gonna do a few different stretches tonight, try to show you a couple of different things, okay? I've been getting a lot of requests for middle back and upper back. All right. I don't know how well this is in frame. Amateur videos, bear with me. But this is going to be a stretch for your back. Middle back, lats, shoulders. Works well as a warm-up before a workout. You can stretch for a few seconds and come in and out of the range of motion. But we're going to put our legs in like a deadlift type position, close stance, slight bend in the knees, pushing the glutes back, pushing the butt back, hands on the wall about here. Can't really get around my buddy's couch here where I'm crashing tonight, but mostly good. All right, let the head hang down and just stretch down forward, all right? I don't have my timer clock with me. We're gonna just let our breathing be natural, normal here, let it flow. I'd say go ahead and start with some longer inhales, longer exhales. Feeling this in the rear shoulders, all of the shoulders if you've been doing upper body work like I have. And as you push the butt back, nice stretch in the lats. With all the poses, don't actively fight the tension, let it hurt. Try to think about softening in the areas that are tight, surrendering to the pose. The reason we hold them for a long time is that this is going to yield gains over time in strengthening the inside of the joints, increasing range of motion, breaking up some of that tight tissue that's been inactive and not moving to full range of motion for a long time. This process takes time with all our stretches. That's why we hold everything for a minute or two, up to 4 or 5 or 6 minutes. So easing out of that one. This is going to be a good test for your squat mobility, knees, thoracic spine, which is the top part of your back. And this is called a wall squat. All right, so you walk your feet pretty close to the wall here, guys. If you can get your feet all the way on the wall and your knees and keep your hands up the whole time, that means you have phenomenal mobility. If you can't, remember where you are today. And if you're a foot away from the wall, slowly over time as you do this stretch or do this as a warm-up, you can just do reps down and up before a squat day, deadlift day, really anything. It's always a phenomenal full body stretch. But if you're here, next few weeks you start walking your way up, and as your mobility improves, one day you will notice that you're almost at the wall, or maybe your toes are touching without your knees. Maybe your knees are touching, your toes are back, but eventually you will increase range of motion by doing these practices. So, nice wide stance on this. The hands are going to be up right in front of me, straight up like this. You're going to bring the knees out to the sides. And hopefully you can get down to where you're breaking parallel with your squat and back up. You want to make sure you can maintain contact on the wall with your arms pretty much straight, and you're trying to get down to a depth where your hips are right below your knees. All right, just wanted to show you that one, guys. So let's go ahead and sit in our deep squat with our chest tall, pushing out to the sides on the knees. And remember, you can sit back. During the pose, you can shift forward to get the knees forward over the toes. If you
feel a little bit of tension and pressure in your knees like I do, that's good. That's what we're working on, is knee mobility. We're gonna hold this one for a little while. I'm also going with like a 5-second inhale, 5-second exhale. If you can't hold it for 5 and 5, the important thing is that you breathe in and out for the same amount of time. Relax, control your breathing, focus on your breathing, especially when it's uncomfortable to hold the stretch for a long time. If you need to take a break, stand up, shake it out, and come back into the pose. You can do that at any time. Come down to our seated forward fold. All right, if you're rehabbing an injury like I am, or if you're just really tight in the lower back or hamstrings, you can leave a little bend in the knees if you'd like when you start doing this pose. Eventually, when I'm not injured, I usually have the legs flat, the toes pointed up. And to give you an idea of why we don't want to overtrain in the gym, I can usually lean forward and wrap my hands around the feet. Sometimes I can touch the toes, but by the end of the stretch, I'm wrapping around the front of the feet. So wherever you start on this one, go ahead, lean that chest forward, focus on your breathing count. It may be a little shorter here because the abdomen is a little compressed. 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out, 4 in, 4 out, whatever you do. Hold this through the nose only if possible throughout the rest of the routine, guys. Force anything. We're just going to keep leaning forward, reaching out forward, letting gravity pull the chest down, breathing in, and on those controlled breaths out, sometimes you'll notice that every few breaths out, if you relax, soften in the areas that tend to tighten up during each pose, think about just softening, surrendering to the pose. A lot of times you'll notice that on some of those exhales, you naturally reach a little further range of motion. We're never going to force it, push it, never go till anything's painful, but we are going to get to a position that's a stretch, that's uncomfortable, and we're going to breathe through the discomfort together. It's also okay to round the upper back on this, of course. Let those shoulder blades come apart, come forward, even come up some. Go ahead and get that stretch in the upper back. And easing out of every pose slowly. All right. I don't know why I have my shoes on. It's been a long day. This is why we do this, though. This helps recovery, helps with stress management. It's especially important when you're injured or sick or highly stressed out. All right, so this pose, we're gonna come into our low dragon pose, guys, which is kind of like our tall dragon, except that we're gonna keep the foot flat on the floor all the way, push the knee over the toe, but instead of leaning our body weight down on the knee like we've done before, this time I want you to walk this back leg back, hips in line, this back knee straight up to the ground. I want you to keep the chest not all the way up, but not down, about halfway. Get a little pressure forward with the knee over the toe, and at the same time stretch that back leg back, push that back knee back along the ground. You can put a little pressure out to the side on this leg if you'd like. The main thing is that the hips, the groin's going straight down toward the ground. All right, I do like to rest my hands here to get a little push, to stretch that ankle out, get the knee over the toe, work on this knee mobility over time. But today we're also stretching the hip flexor, the front of the quad, of the back leg, as well as the calf and the ankle, working on our foot and ankle mobility in the front and our hip flexor mobility in the back at the same time, guys. Should be feeling a good stretch in this front leg on the hamstring by the glute, all along the hamstring. You probably feel it here. You may feel it on the very side of the hip here. All right, go ahead and settle into a 5-second in, 5-second out breathing count with me. Notice that you sink into the poses as we hold them for a minute or two or longer. Some days you don't have to fight it, you don't have to force it. You just sit here for a couple of minutes. If the stabilizers are losing their endurance, it's okay, take a break. Hands on the ground is fine. I'm still able to push this knee over this toe, bringing the butt toward the heel on the right side. If you have great mobility, you may be way forward already. Knee mobility is my weak area. Going into the back of my right ankle, calf. Very important to keep ankles mobile. Ease back out of every stretch. All right, we're going to switch legs. Left foot forward, hips squared up, not twisted. Back knee is going to be flat on the floor. I'm not going to twist this hip down. If the mobility's not there and you can't stretch the back leg out as far, that's fine. Hips straight in line, squared up toward the ground, meaning both hips even facing the ground, back knee flat on the ground, guys. Oh yeah. Easing down the knee past the toe or toward the toe. The whole front foot flat on the ground. Don't bring your heel up. Push the heel down. You'll feel the stretch in the ankle and the calf. On this back leg, all through the front. The quad, which is the muscle that runs up the front. If you're new at this, the hip flexor runs up through the quad, up to connecting the upper and lower body. If you have a prop like this, feel free. You may feel this in the adductor, the inner groin, on your back leg, if that side's a little tighter than the other one, like mine is. Let those hips sink down to the ground. As I get deeper in the stretch, I'll slowly work my back leg back. actively softening in the areas that are tight, thinking about softening, not resisting it, focusing on the breathing. Let the body do its job. Let gravity do its job. Know that over time this will increase your range of motion, making your joints healthier, stronger internally, and stronger in a longer range of motion. And tonight, the benefit I'm most looking forward to is the fact that this will increase your sleep quality, helping your nervous system switch off for the day. Get into that beautiful rest and digest mode, out of fight or flight mode. Easing back out of that. I'm going to adjust the camera here for our last pose. Whew. Okay. All right, this is an easy one. All right, so we're going to lie down, guys. Hope I'm in the shot still. Lie down. First thing I want you to do is leave your heels on the ground where they are. Shift your hips over to the right just a little bit. All right, shoulders and heels down, hips out to the right, forming a little bit of a crescent moon shape. Go ahead and walk your heels over to the left. Cross your right foot over your left foot. I don't think you guys can see that. And then up here, we're going to continue to make this shape by reaching forward and left. You'll feel a nice stretch all along this oblique, down the side of the leg, possibly in the hip, in the lat, all along that right side. Feet at the bottom are to the left, hips are to the right, and arms up here are to the left. Shoulder blades should be on the ground, not lifted up. You can walk those hips to the right a little bit. Make sure you get a nice crescent moon curve and relax. Enjoy this stretch, guys. Actively reaching with those hands. You want to stretch all along this lat, this oblique, which is the side of your abs and the side of your core. Keeping my hips down, not twisting them up. Find you a spot where you get a good stretch and contain it by reaching those hands up and to your left. Awesome, guys. Come back into a straight line. Do the opposite. Ankles, shoulders are going to stay on the ground. Bump our hips over to the left, leave them flat. Ankles to the right. Left leg over the right leg. Hips and shoulders on the ground. Reaching up and to the right with the upper body. Feeling the same stretch along the left side. I'm actively pushing my feet to the right, my hips to the left, and my upper body to the right to make that nice crescent moon shape. Stretching forward all the way up and right. The more I reach with these hands, not forcing it, but just putting a little bit of intentional pressure forward. You really feel the stretch all along the side of your body. Great job doing the hard work of investing in yourself, especially if you're doing this at nighttime when you don't feel like it, when the last thing you want to do is anything but Netflix and chill. It's really great practice. Keep the mental fortitude. If you had a rough day like I did, great, we're done. Lie down for 2 to 4 minutes and enjoy the rebound like I talked about in the other videos. Put a little music on, be silent, however you like. You're gonna lie down and completely relax. Enjoy not thinking, not planning, no expectations to do anything. Come back to your breath. Spend as little or as much time in that as you like. That really is the best part of a mobility routine, is a few minutes of the rebound, mindfulness, nothing else to do but enjoy that feeling of accomplishment, the opposite of the activity of actively working and stretching and thinking and everything we do during the day. The rebound is a beautiful, sacred time. Please take a few minutes, enjoy that. We've done our job, lick our wounds, we'll fight another day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.